I'll be speaking about how is classical literature still relevant for today's youth. What is classical literature? Basically, I'll just say what I feel about it. Classical literature is basically a guiding force to live your life, to navigate through your life. What is classical literature? If we talk about right now, if we are standing, if we have anything of our own, it is only because of the classical literature. I want all of you to think about a pyramid. At the top is the modern literature that we have today. At the base is the ancient classical literature. If we take that classical literature out, we'll just have all of that pyramid will shatter down, and we will left with, and we will have nothing of our own. So, as to say that we have promoted everything that we have right now is of our own, that would be very wrong. That would be demeaning our ancestors that they have produced. Talking about European classical literature, about youth, the existential crisis that we face right now, or any revolution that has been a part of the history. If we say we are the ones who started it, or we are the ones who know everything about it, that would be very wrong, because they were the ones who gave us the concept of various movements. For example, we didn't just one day wake up and decided that we want to march. It was nothing like that, but it was the whole process. It was the whole feminism that started gradually, and today, right now, we have famous poets, various poets, women poets, and in front of us we have one. Now talking about history, if we want to know about a person or a place, history is the account that we would look for. But more than that, more than history, we would look at the literature of it. As Nasim Shifai Imam has rightly said, if you want to, it was about, I believe it was about the conflicting account, a conflicting historical account of Kashmir. So she rightly said, read the literature of it, not the history. So to say, we are the ones who created everything that we have, and to neglect everything that our ancestors have provided would be very wrong of us to do it.
A debate and a discussion, is classical literature still relevant to today's, to youth of today? No doubt classical literature has some cultural and historical significance, but its relevance to today's youth is drastically fading, because it is, and we have so many valid reasons to prove it is irrelevance and insignificance in today's era. We can just see that traditional literature, or I can say classical literature, it has been a kind of a foundation to the contemporary literature. But that does not mean that the contemporary literature is not in need of an hour. Contemporary literature is very important for us nowadays, because if we want to address the problems in our society, the contemporary issues, they can only be addressed through the contemporary texts, contemporary literature. And my sister, she spoke about the feminism. Let me educate her on this. She spoke that feminism actually started in classical era, which is totally false. It was actually in the 19th century when the women got their rights properly, when feminism started. So it has nothing to do with the classical literature. In fact, in classical times, there was a biasness towards the gender. We know it very well. And you are not going to see anywhere, you will not find anywhere the texts of or any kind of literature of women of that time.
So just for informing him about women rights, actually, it didn't start, what you are talking about, feminism, what's the outcome that you are talking about, but it started late in the 17th century with the vindication of rights of women, started by Mary Wollstonecraft, okay? It was not just one day everyone woke up, it was feminism. Mentioned, we have a proper account, we have a proper literature for it.
17th century is the medieval period actually.
So
classical period.
Basically classic is not that something. Okay, just I want to close it off. Talking about classic literature is not relevant is totally wrong, and it would be demeaning for our ancestors to say that we are the ones who started everything. And about the relevance of today's youth, of course because it is. Talking about Lal's work, or a very famous shuk that everyone would know here is Unporsheteli One Poshe. Was it not given years and years back? Is it not relevant today? Do we not have environmental issues right now? And that is, if we go into that, we will see that forests were diminishing. Thank you, I'll just wrap it up.
I'm not saying that we should completely just reject what the people of the past said to us, but today we have so many different sociological issues. We have multiple things in our society that need to be addressed through current laws. That's why we are making amendments in our constitution. Why do we need amendments in our changes in our constitution? It is all because the society is changing. We have this progressive approach towards the life. At that time, don't take me wrong, our ancestors, they were mostly idealistic in nature. Mostly they were, and nowadays we are so much realistic.
As she mentioned, and also like our regional authors or the native authors are getting diversified over the globe. But that's what is problem. That's how social media has overtaken. I just want to say that अगर कोई visually impaired इंसान internet या digital या technology ने उसको इसलिए easy बनाया, we have immense and we have very knowledgeable kind of laureates and the literates here who would help, who would translate. Is that we have e-libraries, we have e-resources, but when you have a phone or the tablet in your hand, you are definitely getting destroyed. You are getting the 10 notifications or 15 notifications हमें एक loop पे आती है, and most of our noble literary persons believe that internet information is not even right. It has been said that e-libraries have reduced the rate of students in the physical libraries. In the libraries we have in colleges, in the libraries we have in universities. There is very different and there is very lovable feel when we read the physical texts. There is very बहुत अच्छा लगता है जब हम underline करते हैं, read करते हैं, reread करते हैं. My grandfather believes that when you pose your lines on the texts, you get them in your memory for a longer time. I just feel that I don't think anything can replace the traditional literature even in today's time, or if it's 2047. If we will have Viksit Bharat or whatever developed country or developed technology we can have, I don't think traditional literature can be replaced. एक अलग ही फील होता है जब आप अपने मेंटर के पास बैठते हैं, वो सुनाता है, हम समझते हैं, फेस टू फेस इंटरेक्शन जरूरी होती है.